Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Cat's Track. Thank you for subscribing, liking, and sharing this with your friends. Today's episode is with our friend Beckie Scott. Beckie was born in Vegreville and was raised in Vermilion. Beckie's loved ones are, beyond the shadow of a doubt, the most important, fulfilling, and enjoyable relationships in her life. Besides them, Beckie is most passionate about the rights of Indigenous peoples, athletes, equality, social justice, the environment, and her community. Friend, you'll find her full bio attached. Beckie, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Catherine. It's great to be here.
I'm glad you're here. I'm looking forward to this.
Me too.
Are you ready for the questions we sent your way?
I'm ready.
Excellent. Okay. Interesting to know what your greatest challenge has been in the last few months.
Well, I think my challenges have been similar to many people, in accepting the realities of a global pandemic and the limitations on freedom in particular that has brought with us. I think, like everyone, I hope for an end to this really soon. And of course, I'm very concerned about the communities around us who have been hit hard, and that's the elderly or Indigenous communities or just marginalized populations in general. So I'm concerned and I think, trying to adjust as well as anyone else in this time.
I'm sure you're seeing it all the way through in a positive way, like you do in all the things you do.
Yeah, I think, I think it's, if anything, it's given me pause to reflect on how fortunate we are. As a family, we haven't really been touched too much by it, knock on wood, yet. And we do live in an incredibly beautiful place where getting outside and spending time in the outdoors, which is very healing and important to us, is easy to do. So I'm grateful for that.
Oh, I love it. And what about the 3 things you'd like to share with the audience today?
Yeah, so I thought that was a great question. I think if there's 3 things or 3 principles that I live by, it's one to care about what's going on around you, to try not to become so immersed in your own world or your own experiences that you neglect what's happening around you. I think it's really important to be aware and alert to what's happening around us. And then the second, of course, is to get involved once you are aware, because I think we generally as a society could benefit from more people getting involved and contributing and not fearing necessarily the consequences of that. So stepping in, stepping up, and becoming active and contributing to the greater good when and where possible in every which way. And I think relatedly to that, I think one of the things that I relied on heavily throughout my career as an Olympian and as a ski racer, and then beyond that in sport politics, was staying grounded in my values. So always looking back to honesty and integrity and fairness and equality as the principles by which every decision, was made and every action was taken.
You certainly do that, Beckie. Thank you so much for sharing that. And what about your legacy, or what opportunity do you see? What would you like to say in closing?
I mean, I think part of my legacy will always be connected to athletes and sport and anti-doping in particular, because I lived in that world for so many years, and I, was quite a prominent advocate, and activist in a lot of ways around anti-doping for athletes. So I think that will be my legacy. I think the catalyst for so much change in that world came as a result of the Russian doping crisis in 2014. And out of that, I think a bright light was shone on a lot of very dark corners in sport, and really exposed a lot of heavy and uncomfortable truths for people. But that has inevitably been a good thing, because it has really awakened a lot of athletes to their importance and their role in sport. And I think it's really been a catalyst for many athlete groups to mobilize, to get involved, to begin to speak up on their behalfs, on the behalfs of others. And there's become a real movement across the global sporting world of athlete activism, which I think is actually a really wonderful, beautiful thing to see happening, because it has been repressed, and it has been so so dormant for so long, and to see the uprising has just been amazing and incredible, and I'm really happy to see that. And I like to think that part of the work that I did with anti-doping in that realm, contributed in some small way to that.
Oh, it sure did, Beckie. You were definitely on the scene at that point. I remember it very clearly. Yay. Thank you for all the work that you've done. And thank you for joining us on Cat's Track today.
Thank you, Catherine. It was great to chat.
Yeah, and keep up the good work, my friend, especially in the Indigenous communities and those cute kids. Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
Thanks, Beckie. Everyone, that was Beckie Scott's. Check out all the cool things that she's working on, especially in the Indigenous communities. I absolutely love the charity that she's built, Spirit North. They're doing some great work, and obviously she's in many different areas of the community, showing up in big ways that she always has. Thank you so much for joining us on Cat's Track. We'll look forward to seeing you next time.